Karl Heinrich Klaustermeyer was born on February 22, 1914, in the province of Westphalia, in the German Empire. He was born to a skilled painter, and after finishing an apprenticeship as a motor vehicle fitter, he became unemployed during the Great Depression. He joined the Nazi Party and the SS in 1932. Later getting a job as a messenger with the city of Bunde, in his home province of Westphalia. Klaustermeyer joined the Wehrmacht in 1935, but was discharged on health grounds in 1937. He was then hired in Bunde, and during this time, he actively boycotted Jewish businesses in the city. In 1939, Klaustermeyer joined the Gestapo in Blafeld, and in November 1940, he was transferred to the security police, and a member of the Sicherheitsdienst in the Warsaw district of occupied Poland. In the autumn of 1941, he was assigned the task of monitoring Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. He quickly gained a reputation for his cruelty to Jewish people, who he often shot arbitrarily and indiscriminately. One witness would later testify that, "I stood just a few meters away and had to watch Klaustermeyer shoot my mother, wife and my 3-month-old child, and he would occasionally ride a bike into the ghetto with an acquaintance, named Joseph Bloshaw, and shoot people at random." He also participated in the suppression of the Warsaw Ghetto uprising in mid-1943 with Commander Jurgen's troop. Near the end of 1943, he was tasked with excavating and burning the bodies of Jews who had been murdered earlier in the year, as part of Sonderaction 1005. After participating in the suppression of the Warsaw Uprising in 1944, Klaustermeyer left Warsaw. After Germany's surrender, he was detained by British occupation forces and sent to an internment camp. He was released in late 1947, only to be re-arrested for being a member of the Gestapo. During his denazification trial, he was incriminated in his boycotting of Jews in the 1930s. But not for the murders he committed in Warsaw. But he was released again. He moved to West Germany, getting married and being employed a driver. In February 1961, Klaustermeyer was exposed after his name was mentioned during the investigation of former Nazi official Ludwig Hahn. He was arrested and admitted to having been a member of the Gestapo in Warsaw from 1941 to 1944. During their investigation, he implicated Joseph Bloshaw, who was now living in East Germany, in the atrocities he had committed during the war. Bloshaw was arrested in 1967, and tried for war crimes, being executed in East Germany in July 1969. Klaustermeyer himself was charged with murdering 20 Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. His trial was supposed to start in 1963, but was delayed for Ludwig Hahn's trial. While awaiting trial, he served time in a prison in Hamburg, then another in Blafeld. His trial started on November 23, 1964. More than 80 witnesses in both Germany and abroad came to testify, and multiple newspapers reported on the trial. On February 4, 1965, he was found guilty of murdering 9 Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. The judge noted that the proven victims were killed entirely, of his own volition and his sheer lust for murder. He said that Klaustermeyer, who maintained his innocence, had hated Jews his entire life and showed no signs of remorse. According to Nazi-era reports, between April and December 1941 alone, more than 7,000 ghetto inmates had died from bullet wounds in the street. He was sentenced to 9 life terms with hard labor and ordered to permanently forfeit his civil rights. In the mid-1970s, he was dying of cancer, and was released from prison on April 8, 1976. He died on April 21, 1976, in Blafeld, in West Germany. He was 62 years old.